I have made a bunch of videos. I made a bunch of videos this past week, and none of them I put up because you know what? None of them were very uplifting or happy, honestly. And I tried to spin some things in a happy way, and they just weren't, and I wasn't feeling very happy. But I'm just gonna make this video and tell you what's going on and put it up there. And it is what it is. If you watch one of my other videos, we did have a chicken who died randomly, and it was sad. And I was like, you know, this is part of farm life. This is part of life. When you get chickens, you always know that. I mean, you assume that some of them are going to die. It's just the way it is. I've heard from people who own chickens, they always have issues with like predators or just whatever. And then after that, our dog, who's very old, and she'd really gone downhill, and we had to say goodbye to our dog. She had some seizures that finally took her out, and she couldn't walk anymore, and it was sad. And the thing is that we knew it was coming. She was old, and she was sick, and you know it's coming, but at the same time, it doesn't prepare you. It does prepare you, but it's still sad. It was sad. We said goodbye to our dog, who we've had for a very long time, and it was sad. So we dealt with all that, and then actually I went out of town. I went out of town to my mom's house with my kids. My husband held down the fort here, and the garden is still alive. I've only lost a few plants. Let me show you. Here's the garden. I did a lot of work right before I left. I was putting down weed mat and trying to make sure mulch just to try to keep the weeds down, and it did a good job because otherwise this place would just be weed central. So I'm glad that it looks the way it looks. It looks pretty good. One thing I did before I left is I dug up a bunch of zinnia transplants, just volunteers, and put them in between all my tomatoes because you know what? I need flowers, guys. I just need flowers and happiness right now. Managed to keep the garden alive, managed to keep all the chickens alive, which was great. And then we just got back, and I actually went to the grocery store with my mom and the kids, and just for a trip to the grocery store. And when we came back, we found that 2 dogs had come to our house and attacked the chickens. Funny ways. I will spare you all the fine details, but they did kill 2 chickens. They killed Lightning, who was a sweet fat hen, and they also killed the rooster. And this is sad. It's pretty darn sad. And they also injured a chickie. So we have chickie in a well, I had her in a cage, and I was dressing her wound, like spraying this stuff on her wound that's supposed to keep it from getting infected. So hopefully she'll be fine, I hope. And that is what we're dealing with today. And I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy. And I don't have a grand silver lining. The only silver lining I can think is actually kind of morbid, in that the rooster before we left had attacked my 3-year-old. I was there. So, you know, if I wasn't there, like, what would have happened? So we had talks between me and my husband. I was like, you need to get rid of the rooster. But when it came down to it, like, neither one of us could do it. And I was like, I'll just retrain him. So the only silver lining to come out of this very not happy occurrence is that the rooster, we said he died a hero. We told the kids that he died, you know, protecting the other hens. And if he hadn't done that, then maybe more of them would be dead. And I believe he probably was, either protecting them or at least maybe led the dogs away from them. I don't know. But so he died a hero. A hero's death. And I buried him and Lightning. And yeah, so I'm not extremely happy right now. I'm not. And I wish I had some like happy something, but I also realize that if I wait until everything's just like perfect all the time, I'm probably never gonna make videos, because life is not perfect all the time, and you do have to deal with this kind of stuff. There's a lot of life that happens. So here I am, just letting you know what's up, and letting you know that it's normal. And I've heard from a lot of other people who have chickens. I mean, you know, you deal with that. You deal with predators. You deal with chicken death. It happens. There's Ducky and Chickie hanging out in the compost, hopefully getting some yummy bugs or something. I didn't want Chicky to get dirty, but at the same time, she doesn't really want to be in a little cage, a dog cage. So I'm letting her be around. I'm just keeping an eye on her. Aren't you a silly plant? Trying to go on the ground. You need to grow up. Grow up this. I planted these hyacinth runner beans at the base of all my tomatoes, and the other ones seem to have decided that they can grow up, but that one just he was just growing on the ground. Need a little help. Lots of tomatoes on all the tomato plants. Excited about that. Oh my gosh, this is gross. So right before I left, I was staking up the tomato plants and pulling off like suckers, and I was like, well, if I put them in some water, maybe they'll root. But then I left for a long time, just left it out in the sun. Now it's just like gross. Oh, that smells so bad. It smells so gross. Don't do that. Yuck. Yuck. Look at my corn. I wanted the beans to grow up the corn, but look where they're growing. They're just like, ah, no. So I tried to do like the beans growing up the corn thing, but I guess the corn is not growing fast enough for these beans. These beans are overachieving climbing beans. They can't be held back by the lack of corn height. I think I might make a second bed for all these sweet potatoes because they are just exploding. They're coming out of the bed. They're really excited, so that's an idea. So I don't want to just start walking around and giving you a tour of like the garden. I'll do an actual garden tour for that. Maybe I'll clean it up a little bit first, get some weeding done. But yeah, basically I wasn't in that great of a mental space before I left, and I don't think I'm in that great of a mental space right now. It's just a bummer. I'm feeling kind of sad. That just happened not that long ago, so that's okay. And yeah, I am gonna post this though, because if I can't wait anymore to post stuff. So it's a bummer. All right, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully more happily.